Movies are supposed to be make-believe, but what if the danger on screen spilled into real life? From mysterious deaths and freak accidents to terrifying coincidences that feel straight out of the script, these films became legends not just for what audiences saw, but for what happened behind the camera. Let's take a look at the top 10 cursed movie sets. Welcome to Cinecurious, where we explore the strange, forgotten, and fascinating corners of film history in bite-sized stories. The Poltergeist trilogy has one of Hollywood's most infamous reputations. Several young cast members died tragically. Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann, died at only 12 from a sudden illness, while Dominic Dunn was murdered by her ex-boyfriend right after the first film's release. Adding to the legend, the famous pool scene reportedly used real human skeletons because they were cheaper than the fake ones. The combination of grisly deaths and unsettling props gave birth to the lasting myth of the Poltergeist curse. The Exorcist is often called the scariest movie ever made, and its production was equally terrifying. A mysterious fire burned down most of the set, but the possessed girl's bedroom was untouched. Ellen Burstyn suffered a permanent spinal injury during the stunt, and other cast members or their relatives died unexpectedly during filming. Even the premiere fueled the legend. Audiences fainted, vomited, and some claimed to feel possessed afterward. To this day, the movie's curse is part of its enduring legend. This horror classic was plagued by freak accidents that seemed ripped straight out of its script. Gregory Peck's plane was struck by lightning, as was a separate flight carrying the film's producer. A zookeeper working with the film's animals was mauled to death by lions the very next day. And in the most chilling twist, special effects artist John Richardson survived a car crash, but his passenger was decapitated in a way eerily similar to the famous decapitation scene he had designed. Coincidence or something else? During production of this anthology film, a helicopter stunt went horribly wrong. Actor Vic Morrow and two illegally hired child actors were killed when the helicopter crashed into them on set. The tragedy sparked one of Hollywood's most high-profile trials, with director John Landis and others charged with manslaughter. Although they were eventually acquitted, the incident forever overshadowed the film. Today, it's remembered less for its stories and more for one of the darkest accidents in movie history. This John Wayne epic may be one of the deadliest films ever made. It was shot near a Nevada nuclear testing site where radioactive fallout had contaminated the land. Years later, more than 90 cast and crew members developed cancer, including Wayne himself, director Dick Powell, and co-star Susan Hayward. While it can't be proven that the film caused it, the numbers are staggering. Ironically, producer Howard Hughes was so disturbed by the film's reputation that he reportedly bought up every copy and watched it obsessively in isolation until his death. Francis Ford Coppola's war epic nearly destroyed everyone involved. Shot in the Philippines, the film was plagued by typhoons that wrecked sets, spiraling costs, and mental breakdowns. Martin Sheen suffered a massive heart attack mid-shoot and had to crawl to the road to get help. Coppola himself admitted he considered suicide, fearing the film was doomed. Even Marlon Brando showed up overweight and unprepared, forcing huge rewrites. Somehow, out of chaos and near madness, a masterpiece emerged, but not without its scars. This film, about a woman carrying the devil's child, became surrounded by eerie real-life events. Producer William Castle was hospitalized with kidney failure, reportedly muttering, "Rosemary, for God's sake, drop the knife." Composer Christoph Komeda later died after a freak accident. Most chilling of all, the film was released right before the infamous Sharon Tate murder. Tate, who was married to director Roman Polanski, had even auditioned for the lead role. She was brutally killed by the Manson family in her own home, cementing the film's legacy as cursed. The so-called Superman curse spans decades. George Reeves, the original TV Superman, was found dead from a gunshot wound in 1969 under mysterious circumstances. Christopher Reeve, the big screen Superman of the 70s and 80s, was tragically paralyzed in a horse riding accident. Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane, later battled severe mental health issues. Even Richard Pryor, cast in Superman 3, faced addiction and illness. While fans debate whether it's really a curse, the sheer pattern of tragedy makes Superman one of Hollywood's most unsettling legends. Beneath this colorful fantasy, The Wizard of Oz was a nightmare for its cast. Buddy Ebsen, the original Tin Man, was hospitalized after his aluminum makeup poisoned his lungs. Margaret Hamilton, the Wicked Witch, was severely burned during a fiery stunt, and her stunt double was also injured. The set was filled with asbestos snow, and Judy Garland herself was reportedly pushed into heavy dieting and given barbiturates to keep working long hours. While audiences remember the magic, the actors paid a heavy price. This cult classic is forever haunted by the tragic death of Brandon Lee. During filming, a prop gun malfunctioned and fired a live round, killing him instantly at just 28 years old. The eerie parallels to his father Bruce Lee's sudden death only deepened the legend. To complete the film, body doubles and early CGI were used, adding to its ghostly aura. Fans embrace the Crow, but it remains a chilling reminder of how quickly movie magic can turn into tragedy. Maybe these were just accidents, maybe they were coincidences, or maybe Hollywood really does have its curses. One thing's for sure, when the camera stops rolling, sometimes the real nightmare is only just beginning. Stay curious, and I see you in the next story.